Hello again. I'd like to do a little bit of analysis on a coin that not many people talk about. It's sort of like the redheaded stepchild of Bitcoin, good old Bitcoin Cash. Surprisingly, does fairly well and has in the past. There's been a lot of violent mood swings that it's gone through, and like most other coins since the middle to the end of December through today has been seeing basically no volume and has seen a steady decline in price compared to Bitcoin. Really since the market height. um, so what I'm looking at here, a couple different points. Of course, I'm still looking at the day chart. I do tend to favor the day chart if you haven't noticed already. Kind of gives you a good view of the long term where the coin is expected to go. So I have a Fibonacci retracement starting at 0.052 that started back about mid to late October, and the spike right around November the 13th. We saw a really big spike that went way high, but it closed at about 0.235. Then we saw, a drawback, which actually took us um, farther below where we currently are today. So we can see that this closed down here at 0.074, which we were fortunate enough to not have had to deal with that. But I'm using these points as a reference for support and resistance levels. This is going to be very important as we look to see where we expect Bitcoin Cash to approach as the days and months go by. So let's just take a look here and see the next time that it hit this particular point, we saw a massive increase in price. So we saw that it actually bounced off of this trend line pretty well, but just wasn't a lot of volume in this particular time frame. So, basically after Christmas, the market just really just died off. That's what really allowed this to, play the waves all the way down to really where it bottomed out, which was at like 0.09 or so. Of course, a couple days ago, we saw a massive spike. We saw a massive spike that broke us out of our downward wedge. And now we're basically seeing the same sentiment. The trend is our friend, as I have said numerous times, and a lot of other people have said. We've seen the market really turn around. So now the question always is, all right, where are we going? Where are we expecting this to go? So the reason why I have this particular trend line appearing here is because typically these lines act as um, two different lines as far as support and resistance goes. If the price is above this, it becomes a support level. If the price is below it, it tends to be a point of resistance. So we're looking at this trend line as it sits here based on some historical trends. We have 3 data points that we can use to use this for. And then we have the price below and starting to creep back up. So we're looking at Fibonacci, we're looking at some trend lines, and then we're looking at volume. I'm using December 19th, December 20th here as volume. I decided to discard this on the 12th of November just because it had just a significant amount of volume, but it closed very close to this level here at 0.225. So whether it's 0.225 or 0.24, this is a very, very close gauge on where our major resistance is going to be. So as I look in the future and in my crystal ball that I do not have and that can predict the price of cryptocurrencies, which I cannot do, what I can say is that it does appear that the market as a whole is moving up. And so we would expect, something like Bitcoin Cash, as we can see in the past, we saw a lot of consolidation happening in this particular range where we're currently at right now, anywhere between 0.11 and 0.12. You're going to see a little bit of consolidation, and it may happen for a day, it might happen for a week. But our next levels are going to be basically 0.14. And as the days go by, if you are going to be holding Bitcoin Cash, I happen to have a few that I'm kind of holding on to. If you hold on to that Bitcoin Cash, chances are pretty good we're going to be seeing some spikes in the price. And let's just take a look back here on December the 7th as an example. We saw a big green candle here that is not exactly the same, but we have a big green candle here. We have another day where we have a smaller candle, which is similar to what we saw yesterday. Now, today's new candle that just started is going to tell a tale on what's going to happen next. But my assumption is we're going to see a little bit of pullback, but a little bit of pullback is okay. It's healthy. And if you'd like to try and accumulate, you can do that. But chances are pretty good we're going to see another rise up to our next fib level. So that's kind of where my thoughts are. Volume is going to be our friend here, along with the trend being our friend. We just keep an eye on the volume. We're going to need the volume to maintain that steady price increase. So just keep an eye on that. If you're not holding any Bitcoin Cash, I don't suggest purchasing any until you have a candle closure above approximately 0.122 or 0.123. You're going to really want to see some movement above this line in order for us to be actually able to see the price rise up to this level here. So just keep an eye on that, and hopefully that helped. So everybody have a good night.